Voice Without Names, Chapter 19. It is hard to believe 3 more weeks have gone by since the big storm and I'm still here. Every morning I wake up with a flame of hope that I will run away today. It burns all day and every evening when Scar locks the door, it dies. After we save the frame, Scar doesn't move the ladder away at night anymore. I wish I had the power to click open the lock and escape. No such luck. Somehow I must make my luck with the help of other boys, but GC is the one I can trust. He will not let the other comes together. And if I try, will he get me in trouble like he did before? He might. Still, I must take a chance because if I don't, I have nothing else. At 10 o'clock, we put away the beads. Roshan flattens out wrinkles from his bed. His jaw is clenched tight and he's smoothing the sack over and over with his palms to get rid of the smallest creases, but the jute is so itchy. I don't know how it can make any difference. I thought tonight Chatter would be one of the last ones to reveal his name because he hardly speaks. It is strange. I knew his name before anyone else's. I guess he was so scared that night when GC asked who was crying that Roshan blotted out his name. If I want the group's help, I must know their names and make them my friends. What's your name? I asked Rocking Boy. He clutches his sack close to his chest, darts a look at GC and hesitates. I put my hand on his shoulder. I want to call you by your real name. That is who you really are? He stares at his feet for a second. My name is Sahil, he says as he looks up. Someone told me it means leader. You, a leader? GC snorts. That's an ulta, upside down name for you. Leave him alone, Thick Finger says. Slowly, Thick Finger seems to be standing up against GC. I like it better than Rocking Boy. Say, Sahil is a nice name. Dippelchin agrees. I'm Amar, but no one called me Amar for a long time. I glance at Thick Fingers. He's quiet as if nothing is happening around him. As long as he doesn't ask me to stop, I must keep on going. Amar means everlasting, forever. Really, Gopal? I never knew that Amar meant something. I want everyone to call me Amar. His voice drops to a whisper, but boss will be mad if he hears it. We never talk when boss is around, I remind him. You are right. May I please tell Amar's story? I am made up or the real one, GC asks. If GC doesn't want to be part of the story circle, he should stay quiet, but it is clear that he is listening. Amar begins. My Baba said I was a naughty boy and that is why he hit me so I would behave better. It only happened when he came home smelling bad and said bad words. He slept until the sun was way up in the sky. Where was your mother? Sahil asked. My mother died when I was 3. I had a stepmother who was busy with my younger brothers and sisters and they always behaved well. That is why my stepmother told my father that even when I was good, I was bad. I was always bad. His voice shrinks to a whisper. You were good. Thick Finger says. GC stops spreading his sack. How do you know? If I mean, we don't know that for sure, but how can he be bad? I mean, don't you think he was too young to know that? What bad meant? GC waves his hand. Acha, I don't have the time for this babbling explanation. By now, we are all ready to sleep. We haven't had a kahani for a long time. Abba turns to me and adds, Gopal, can we have one tonight? It will make me happy. I want to pick him up, give him a great big twirl like I used to give Naren and says, yes. GC folds his hand across his chest and stares at me. The tension between us is as sharp as pointy pencil and I don't want to say yes to Amar before asking Thick Fingers. Besides, GC might complain about it to Scar. I shake my head. Why not? I like the one you told us before. I want to hear it again. Please. I glance at Thick Fingers and he turns away. Amar draws up his knees, hugs his legs, and rests his head on his knees. I can't see his face, but with his slumped shoulder, he looks so sad. I sit down next to him. Amar raises his head. His eyes are teary and his face is hopeful. Don't cry, Amar. I will tell a story, I say. I don't care if 10 GCs go against me and complain to Scar. We can't have light. I don't want boss to have a bigger electricity bill and find out we stayed up late. He will make us work more hours, Thick Finger says. So we turn the naked bulb off and form a circle. The only person who hasn't joined the circle is GC. He is stretched out on his sack. Before I begin the story, I take out the flashlight, turn it on, and set it in the middle. Summer vacation was my favorite time because I go to spend the days in Mathuran. telling everyone he spent summers on a hill station to get away from the heat as if he were one of the counts. Total liar, GC snorts. I ignored him and continued. Every morning I would wake up at 4 and by 4:30 I would begin climbing the hill to Matheran. My friends Mohan and Shiva and their mothers also came, so it was fun. Matheran means forest on the top, and the places were filled with trees, birds, monkeys, snakes, and other animals. It was a long hike, and it took us almost 2 hours to climb the mountain. But we go there before the morning train arrived, bringing people from Mumbai. The best part was that when we started out, stars twinkled in the sky and the moon shone like a plumeria blossom. By the time we go to the top, the moon and star had disappeared, and the sky was as pink as Guru's Kench as the sun peeked from behind the hills. Oh, so beautiful, Roshan sighs. Shh, don't disturb him, yaar, Amar says. When the train arrived, we would carry the tourists' luggage to fancy hotels like Rich Resort and the veranda in the forest. After that, we hung out by the car and taxi parking lot because the train only came at certain times and brought tourists all at once. But the cars and taxis came all day long, and we were able to find the work. With all the money you got paid, you must have been rich, Gopal. Are you hiding your money in a pocket like your flashlight, GC Jewels? No, whatever I earned, I gave to I and Baba because they needed it. You were a good son. Thick Fingers says, I am so surprised by Thick Fingers' comment that I forgot what I am saying. Yeah, yes, Roshan agrees. Are you listening? I asked Sahil, throwing the beam at him and to gather my thoughts. He nods. In the afternoon, Mohan and Shiva and I would go to Lake Charlotte and have our lunch under a nimba tree on a hot afternoon. If the day was cool, we would walk out on one of the rock outcrops and sit in the sun. The man-made lake and the God-made hills belonged together, and we never got tired of either one of them. Many tourists traveled by horse, and one of the horse owners was from our village. He would let us ride his horse when there were no customers. What clever were the horses, Amar asked. They were green like parrots. CC laughs at his own joke. The rest of them are silent, as if rude student has disturbed the teacher. When he was talking about something interesting and important, I wish GC would sit in his corner and keep his mouth shut. He enjoys interrupting us, especially me, and if he knows I'm irritated, he will keep on doing it. Like I used to say, why give a monkey a ladder? Her round face comes to mind, and I want to give her a hug and take in the smell of her clean sari. I am glad the yellow naked bulb is off. In the light of the flashlight, no one can see my face. I wait for the sadness to pass away. The rest of the group waits patiently. One horse was cinnamon, and the other was black. My favorite was Prince. His coat was shiny black with a tear-shaped white mark between his eyes, and I could feel he liked me because when I got close to him, he moved his head forward as if to greet me. Why do you all listen to this nonsense and lies? GC asked. We will listen because the lies are better than the truth we have. If you better lies, then we will listen to you. Until then, just be quiet. Roshan stutters like he did in his sleep, but his voice is sharp, as if it has been whittled down by anger. Even GC must feel it because he doesn't argue. So you like the black horse and he liked you now? Sahil asks. He's enjoying this story. It makes me smile. The black horse was gentle and sunny most of the time, but when he was upset, he turned dark and threatening. One day when I rode him, a loud noise startled him and he took off. It was a foggy day, and I was certain that Prince would run off one of the cliffs and we would plunge into the valley. My heart pounded faster than his gallops. Amar leaned forward, resting his chin on his clasped hands. Did he? Then he wouldn't be telling us this tale, GC says. I tried to slow him down. When he finally calmed down, I whispered in his ears that I still loved him, even though he had scared me. After that day, he was always gentle with me. When I rode him, the breeze brushed my hair, the red dust sprays about, and the hills surrounded me. It made me feel like I could do anything I dreamed that someday I would have horse just like him. I close my eyes and see Prince prancing in front of me, and I can hear his whine. Do you still dream that? I don't even know who asked, but it brings back to our circle. I do. Suddenly I want to get a horse like Prince. GC gets up and stands in the middle of the circle facing me. How can you own a horse? You are sitting in the prison working away like a slave and dreaming like a prince, and you like a horse named Prince? Ha ha ha. Your dreams are nothing but dust under the horse hooves. I never dreamed I would never end up here, but I did. Who knows what tomorrow might bring? Tomorrow is going to be the same as today, full of glue, beads, and frames. Still, it is better to have dreams because then someday they can come true. But if you don't have them, then you have nothing. So tell me, it is better to have nothing or have something? I ask. I don't know. I never had anything, GC mumbles. What do you mean? Tell us about your family. GC thumbs his foot. I don't have a family. And you don't either. Gopal, stop talking about I and Baba. You never had them, or a village, or friends. You have never ever seen a horse. You tell all these stories to make yourself feel better and make us feel bad. Isn't that right? GC picks up my flashlight. Tell me these are all lies, or else I will smash your flashlights against the wall. I reach to snatch the flashlight from his hand, but GC is taller and then I am. And he stretches his hand above his head. The beam that was steady on the ceiling is shaky. Before I know it, someone grabs a flashlight and hands it to me. It must be Thick Fingers because he's the only one as tall as GC and he doesn't want any trouble. It's time to go to bed. What GC said tonight makes me sad and mad, all mixes together like swirls of marble. It is said that for GC this is home, and as bad as Scar is. GC wants only to please him. I am mad because GC tells me that I am making up stories and I don't have a family. If I weren't for GC, we would be a story circle.